Just letting you know, this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Check my pinned comment for a free gift related to this video. And to watch my unfiltered reactions with exclusive bonuses, join my Asha Media TV Club. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Supernatural.
Pick your words carefully, Asha. It's only the first watch. And there are people who are nice enough to break things down kindly, without spoilers. Not just in the comments, but also in conversation. Okay, start at the beginning. Okay. Yes. At the beginning, the dream, Rowena's dream, effing hilarious. Sorry, I gotta take a minute here. I gotta block out the last part there because my mind is kind of screaming all kinds of stuff. All right, yes. So at the beginning, reindeer, Rudolph, Rowena, and Crowley in a jumper kind of thing, and Santa Lucifer. I don't know how else you can make an opening scene more entertaining than that. And the fact that she has that as a reoccurring nightmare, I don't even know what to say with that. And mind you, she's saying that he's new. So was there an actual Santa in her nightmare? Or this is the first time Santa actually shows up? And she's just stuck with a kid, Crowley, opening presents. I don't know. You tell me. Okay, that was really, really great way to open up the episode. It definitely makes it very memorable. Loved that. And stabbing Crowley with the candy cane. Yeah, okay. So it does answer my suspicion that I think was quite obvious, that she was being fed information and following his lead. So, tiny bit, just a tiny bit, like, you know, they had the cliche witch kind of situation, but it just tiny bit, because it's a given with just witches in general. So if they didn't do that, I would probably criticize that they didn't do that because it doesn't fit with the pattern of most witches. But at the same time, you could still argue that Supernatural could have just do something a lot more clever and different anyway, so that it separates their lore of witches and what's commonly associated with them with Lucifer from other stuff that has done that, not only in TV and movies, but of course in books that I'm familiar with on my end. Okay, not all of them, but just some key ones that this show does take inspiration from. I've seen it for myself in the narrative. Okay, so let's get to Sam and Lucifer in the cage. Lucifer making his case, going back into memory lane, which I always enjoy watching, and I will actually check for myself if that kid. I think it was the same kid. The eyes were similar, but I can't remember him as fully right now in my mind as Sam. But I'll go check. So don't worry about that. I'll go check, okay? But either way, I like how they used these memories, going back to season 5, going back to the final showdown, and also what I think it was fan reactions that they were trying to address through the story, through Lucifer, about what perhaps most people didn't like with Sam's shift as a character from starting in season 8, right? Or not even starting season 8, actually. Season 8, excuse me, after the Leviathans. And so, personally for me, that shift was from like season 6, you know? But there are arguments there too, because of the different showrunners, different things, whatever. But the point is, I like how they did it. I like how they went about it. It was really funny. I think the lines given for Lucifer, only Mark Pellegrino can just nail them. Just nail them, okay? And with all that, it not only as a viewer, like if you were a person that didn't tune into Supernatural from the beginning, because apparently there are people who have done that. I don't know how you could start this kind of show like halfway through a 15 season run. But apparently there has been that. So if anything, if I was that kind of crazy person, not to be too judgy, but who just, hey, what's this show? Let me click play. That whole little snippet between him and Lucifer gives me some insight to the backstory of this character, that through Lucifer's perspective, it gets me to be like, okay, that's kind of happened in the past, and now this is what this guy's bringing up, and there's the whole choice of being his vessel for him to make at the end of the episode. And I, as a viewer, I think would be curious to see how did it lead up to that, right? So it does two things. It gives you some information to start with, but it also, I could see a new person be like, okay, well, maybe I'll go check out that last, those episodes he's talking about, to see if what he's saying legitimizes his complaint of Sam going soft, more or less, right? And not being the Sam that we know. Oh gosh, I can't imagine the online debates at that time, and probably still ongoing. It wouldn't be surprising to me. I know in other fan bases, the arguments never die on certain things. Okay, so that was a great way to hook me in with this narrative. Now, in terms of Lucifer himself, I don't want to jump too much. I'm trying to keep things linear whenever I do this, so I don't go all over the place. Okay, let me just keep doing that. I'll get to that shortly anyway, because it's certainly the last impact of the episode. Okay, Crowley and his mom. I love the banter back and forth, but I will skip ahead only because I'm just going to conclude that part with them, that her monologue on why she doesn't, or why she hates him, I didn't expect that, and it was quite powerful, of course, in performance, but in just context of a lot of things. A lot of layers there, psychological layers, for Crowley to somehow get some understanding of her, only to have her again betray him. It's funny because it's like this show presents so many fronts with mommy issues and daddy issues. It really is quite of a ping pong back and forth. At first, I thought, or it seemed for me, a lot of it was just daddy issues, with John Winchester and all that. But with the absence of a mom too, it did shape things for the boys. And then Ellen came into the picture, or Ellen was in the picture, and no longer in the picture. And Ellen kind of, for me, how I saw her, was kind of like the substitute mother figure for them, her and Bobby, right? Substitute parents. And then with them out of the picture, it's interesting to kind of go back now and touch on these very rich tones of dialogue of women. I don't want to generalize this because it's specific to Rowena, but I think it speaks on some level to perhaps women out there who regret having their children and who feel perhaps their kids have ruined their lives. I mean, that exists. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And I can go into a whole nother sociopolitical aspect of that conversation, but I won't. It's not the place for that. But I enjoyed how very short but very powerful monologue, so much of that was conveyed. It's very conversation worthy. I'll tell you that, water cooler conversation worthy kind of thing. I really enjoyed that. So for Crowley and Rowena, I'll wrap it up and say that not surprised she betrayed him, but how she betrayed him, I mean, well, she couldn't have known that Castiel would do that. Or were they counting on that? There's no way they could have known that. So it's not really a betrayal sense, unless because Cass said no, if none of that happened, Lucifer wouldn't have gone out. Anyway, it was just nice. It was good. Okay, the whole scene was great. But her dying now, her just having her neck snapped. Half of me is like screaming, what the F? Again? We went from Charlie to her in this way again. But halfway through the season. I don't know. Like, this show has mastered the art of just killing off people that I'm just like, is that it? Like, this is the end of this character? So if that's the case, that sucks. But, like, really sucks. And I don't want to go on a rant. I don't want to go on a negative rant. So I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? That really friggin' sucks. And the reason behind her death, I have to be fair though, is fitting, although cliche, right? The whole like, I'm your only, just the devotee gets killed off being the only person that could send him back to the cage. Whatever. Okay, I gotta stop there and leave it at that because I will kind of go off. So R.I.P. Rowena. And then having her say all that stuff to Crowley too just makes it all the more like, I guess the way to tie up things between her and Crowley. So now he's gonna feel bad. Is he now gonna feel bad that she died after admitting her feelings that way to him, even though the feelings weren't really love? But whatever. Okay, I gotta move on past that now. Let's get to, yes, this whole thing with the smiting sickness. That was very clever. Very clever. And I mean, it makes sense. You're going to have that kind of cosmic power happening. There's definitely, it makes sense that it would affect the environment, and seeing Dean react to it viscerally, I like that. I thought it was a really good touch to add to the realism of the fantasy in and of itself. That's good. I like it. That worked. Okay. I already touched on that. Sam and Lucifer. Let's get to... Yes, Michael. Okay, I finally get it. Sorry, people, if it was obvious. I guess I just wasn't sure. But no, I really just did not pick up on it. I'm just going to be honest about that. I'm not going to act like I did know. It completely went past me what was happening. So the spell that Rowena cast, and correct me, because this is what I'm thinking right now. The spell that Rowena cast allowed them to see the soul-ish of Lucifer, but only because they're the ones they're looking to talk to. And so Michael is actually there in the cage because the cage looked empty anyway before the spell, right? So he's just not visible to the naked eye under the spell or whatever protection charms from God that's placed on the cage. That's what I'm understanding now, right? I hope to God. I don't know what else I could think of that makes any sense. And so having him validate the dialogue of Michael sitting in the corner in the cage, we just can't see him. Okay. I'm glad at least I got some explanation. And I hope that is what's happening. And so just basically we're benching Michael. And Lucifer's the only person we're working with. Okay, so if I'm right on that, great. If I'm not, correct me, please. Now, as for the other angel here, what was her name? I know it rhymes with Castiel. What she say it was? I'll look it up after. But she's so cute, and yeah, that moment was quite a real moment. It was real talk, real angel talk of the way she described their roles. Although the latter part there, the Winchester part, when she's like, nobody's gonna miss us and all that, or we're expendable. I don't fully agree with that because, as I said in my reaction, Dean was on his way there anyway, and the only reason why he couldn't go any further was because he was going to get sick and possibly die or something like that. And Castiel had to be the one to go. So she doesn't know that context, but I understand what they were trying to point out in terms of just like he's not part of the hero team from the perspective of the things she knows or things she understands. I get it. Okay. Now, here we are with Billy. Yes. So I wanted to touch on this because the setup they're doing here it's really well done because they're hammering it over, like, well, not over. she said it to Sam, and she made it clear to Sam, you guys die, or you die at that time to him, you ain't coming back, and I'm making sure of that. And then now to have it where she's telling that to Dean. And so as a viewer, what else can you conclude but a setup of their death and they won't be able to come back? So I'm like, if they're setting this up very early in the season and they're making it very clear, right? They're having her make that her mission statement to make that clear to them that she's going to go make sure they never come back. And I'm just like, okay, so we're going into a season where now Sam and Dean die? I won't jump too much the gun, but I'm telling you that's kind of my wacky theory as to, okay, this could be the season where they both make a sacrifice, right? They both finally do it. And they're stuck in whatever hell or heaven. Well, it wouldn't be heaven. Or would it be heaven? I don't know. Because we got darkness now. So I don't know. I'm not going to go there because there's just too many possible variables and I'll be here forever rambling on of nonsense probably. So yeah, I'm just saying that the whole thing of them dying and her being there to be like, nah, you ain't come back to life. That in and of itself, I could see that being a season worthy situation where it's like, the season where Sam and Dean have to come back to Earth kind of thing. It really does get otherworldly. It really gets supernatural. I'm spinning off all kinds of ideas there. Okay, that was good. Let's move forward. Yeah, the whole thing with that contraption on Rowena fooling her. Well, her fooling Crowley disappointed me on Crowley because I'm like, come on, Crowley would never fall for something like that. Or would he? I don't know. It's not like he hasn't before. But they do show it where like it seems as if he is to some degree, and then he outsmarts her anyway, like he did with the tea. And I just realized I rhymed there. I didn't mean to, but I did. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it is some of the feminist in myself. I just seeing her just getting, she gets chained up, then she gets choked in twice actually in this episode. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. And yes, maybe I can't deny it. I can't deny it. If it was a guy they were doing that to, would I be as whatever about it? Maybe not as much, but I'd still advocate for them. Depends on the guy. Okay, let me keep going forward because I don't want to touch on Rowena right now. It's going to get me kind of sad and mad all at once. Let's go to darkness. Yes, darkness now. When she's confronting Castiel and she's all like, bro, what are you trying to get at me? And she just like tells him he's all used up and like he's not even worthy of her power to kill. Damn. But I think they're also trying to show she doesn't have the power, right? Because at the end, she's all stumbly. So tell me if I'm wrong on that. Is that really why she didn't really do nothing to him? But she also recognized him, too. I wasn't sure, like, did he say he knew her? Was Castiel at the beginning of all of this, too? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but then printing that stuff on his chest, I'm like, of all places in the world, I hope it's healable. But yeah, when it comes to darkness, I hope they make her intentions just a tiny bit more clear. Like, if anything, I think they're going to do that, just showing her vulnerability with her powers there at the end, I hope. Because there's only so much of, like, I hate my brother, he locked me up, I can care to watch. I need to see more nuance with this character. You gotta give me more layers. So I'm trusting now we're going into the halfway point that they will do that. Since so many of you like this season, so I'm expecting greatness! Okay, let me keep going here. Man, I just can't believe they kill off Renee. Oh, no, I will not do it. I'm not doing it. I want to look at something else before we get to the big reveal at the end with Lucifer and Castiel's body. There was something else. Yes, okay. The final stand that Sam makes. He says no, despite everything. Everything he said was what I wanted to hear, and I'm very satisfied until they had him second guess himself. Like, why? Then again, that kind of does fit Sam a bit, in a sense where you don't want to think that by saying no, you could have made the problem worse, right? But Dean chimed in perfectly and made it quite clear, like, dude, it's okay. You did the right thing. But I loved watching that. I love the progression of it. It wasn't rushed. I really appreciated that as a viewer. I really did, because they could have easily done that, depending on the direction and the writing and all that. And I've seen really pivotal moments like that for a character be rushed and forced, and this wasn't. This was from the beginning of the episode, leading up very nicely through the memories. Just fantastic. Okay, now let's tackle the big reveal. The first thought went through my mind was, oh my God, they were benching the Castiel character for Lucifer. And there's many ways I'm sure you can feel about this. And mind you, first watch, right? First watch. I might feel differently after watching it again through my edit, which I'll be watching in snippets, and also too, some commentary does some of your comments does give me different perspectives. But at the moment, I don't like it. But I will give credit where it's due. Misha Collins nailed it in terms of impersonating his cadence and just his mannerisms. Oh my gosh. Wow. For just the short few scenes he has, I'm looking forward. It does give me some anticipation for performance value, right? For me to watch, which I will never not say whether I like it or I'll never not say that's not a good thing. But in terms of character development and story, okay. I guess those of you who know me well, I guess some of my dislike of it is like, oh, no Mark Pellegrino anymore. I'm just like, I was so happy they brought him back, and then it's like he's gone out of the picture. So I hope it's temporary. That's all I'll say. I mean, I'll enjoy it for what it's worth, but I hope it's temporary and we bring back Mark, okay? Because only Mark can play Lucifer really well. Well, speaking of that, real quick, that whole nod to the Lucifer show, brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. I didn't think they'd ever address it, but they did, and the way they did it. But if you didn't know the show and you were watching at that time, I wonder if you would even pick up on it if you were just not watching the show anyway. Anyways, but yeah, so I have mixed feelings on that, because as a character with Castiel, I've been a bit more hopeful that, okay, we are going in a direction that I thought they were to kind of build an independence for him as an angel who's been through so much. But now you're going to have him. I mean, I'm going to trust that it's temporary, okay? I hope so. We can't have half a season where he's just Lucifer. Really? Like, I'm not going to like that. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to like it. So don't give me any hints. Don't give me any hints whether that's going to be the case or not. Allow me to have the experience, but I'm just saying right now that if they do prolong it and we have a whole half of a season where the character of Castiel himself doesn't get any development, I guess you could say, well, they've got, 3 more seasons to go, or 4 more seasons. But, if I was watching this at the time, I don't know how many seasons they're going to have ahead, right? So it would still be upsetting to see a character be kind of put aside to fulfill another character's arc, whatever. But they'll make it up to me in performance, and I'm crossing my fingers it's temporary. I'll leave it at that. Okay, Ashamoji-wise. Despite my gripes with the killing off of Rowena, I don't like how they did it. I'm like thinking, what other better death could they have given her if she was going to die in this episode? I'd rather Crowley finally kill her, honestly. Since they've been back and forth with each other about killing each other, I would have preferred Crowley just finally did her in some way, some fashion, than to have Lucifer snap her neck. I think that's what bothers me more. Well, I'm going to miss her. She's a good actress, man. But I could see then maybe at that time she was probably in demand, moving on to other shows. But this show, people never really die, so, she'll come back some way, some form, haunt Crawley's ass. She's a witch after all. Oh, speaking of which, actually, oh my god. Okay, it just dawned on me of a possibility with this damn character. Because she had the Book of the Damned. And I kept saying how she's so powerful with that damn book, so. But no. Would they have done that? I'm thinking maybe she could have put an anti-death charm on herself, because why not? You know Crowley's after you. So I wouldn't put it past Rowena to do something like that. Or maybe like a spell where if she does die, her soul goes into like something that could be retrievable, and all she'll need is a new vessel, and maybe a different actor will play her. I don't know how that can happen. Nobody can play this character as well as she does, but okay, I'm spinning off into all kinds of ideas there. I just don't want her to be dead. So I'm hoping somehow, some way they'll fix that. I'm really tempted right now to go and check. But I don't want to spoil it for myself. I want to see it for myself. Okay, anyways. Going on a tangent here. Crunching for time. I'm trying to think if there's... Let me just do one quick breeze through. Don't want to miss anything. This episode had so much going for it, though. Rewatchability is super high. Tell me if this is one of your favorite episodes. And for Castiel fans, actually, yes. Tell me, do you like this? Do you like Castiel now playing Lucifer? I know there's only so much you could say at this point without spoiling anything for me, but how about this? Do you remember your first initial reaction when this happened? Was it positive? Was it negative? Because I know when it comes to fans of characters, a lot of it is mixed in with their respect and fandom or lust towards the actor themselves, okay? There's a mixture of that. I'm sorry to say, but I have a hard time believing when people tell me it's 100% has nothing to do with the actor. A lot of it has to do with the actor. There is a blend of that comes into it. Anyway, so I guess I'm asking the question to not only Castiel fans, but Misha Collins fans too, combined, if you're willing to answer. Okay, so there you have it. That is my reaction to episode number 10. And I realized I didn't give you an Ashamoji. Sorry. So let me think of one. It deserves a 5. I can't deny it, despite my gripes. Because the gripes are from my own personal reaction to it, not that it just ruins the story or anything like that. It still fits, even if I can't stand the fact it happened. So, yeah, 5. 5 Ashamojis. It's an excellent episode. Okay, so there you have it officially. My reaction to episode 10 from the 11th season of Supernatural. If you want access to my uncut, unfiltered reaction, including paused moments of commentary that I only share with my club members, and other bonuses, details on joining my club is in the description box below for you. All right, people, I'm signing out for now until my reaction to episode 11 as we move forward with all this crazy shenanigans. Tuning out, peacing out. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.